Thank you, Anthony, and good morning, everybody. And it's my pleasure to talk about the Women's Budget Statement today. So women's budget statements are not new to Australia. The first Women's Budget Statement was launched in 1984, and it's been part of the budget papers in the last 3 years. It recognizes that government policies are not gender neutral and includes the analysis of mainstream policies and their effects on women. Recognizes that achieving gender equality is important for equity and fairness reasons, and acknowledges that gender equality leads to better economic outcomes. The 2024-2025 budget includes initiatives that contribute to gender equality and to improve the status of women. Some of them have mentioned by Anthony, and a lot of these cost of leave relief measures are likely to assist women in the lower income brackets of the population and who are single parents. One significant step is the superannuation on top of paid parental leave. It recognizes some of the important unpaid care work that women undertake, and also aims to close the superannuation balance gap between men and women. In Australia, the median superannuation balances for men at about $208,000, whereas for women is $168,000. At every age group, women's superannuation is below men's superannuation. Incentivizing the sharing of unpaid care work and closing the wage gap can also improve superannuation balance for women moving forward. The government's redesign of stage 3 tax cuts is also expected to benefit women. Women constitute the majority of individuals in the lower 5 deciles of the income distribution, and 58% of people earning between $18,200 a year and $45,000 a year, the lowest income tax bracket, are women, compared to 27% of people earning more than $180,000. The government expects an increase in women's participation in the labor market due to these increases in disposable income brought by the tax reforms. However, this increase in disposable income needs to be considered against increases in childcare payments and losses of social assistance. Also, decisions about women's participation in the labor market are not only financial. Gender norms affect women's participation in the labor market as well. The government is implementing practice placements for students in midwifery, nursing, and social work. Out of the total people enrolled in these fields of education and health, 74% are women. There's also the benefits for amendment to the HECS indexation. The government has announced that it's going to benefit mostly women. 58% of student debt, which is about $1.75 billion out of $3 billion of student debt, are held by women. However, it needs also to be taken into consideration that it takes women longer to pay student debt, given the different career interruptions that women experience, and also due to the gender pay gap, which is about 22% in Australia. The government has included $925 million allocated over 5 years to extend the Leave Violence program in face of the domestic violence crisis that Australia is facing. Eligible women wanting to leave a violent partner can apply for up to $5,000. Domestic violence can be a matter of life and death for women. And this is a complex and multifaceted issue that requires evidence-based measures to prevent it from happening. From an economics perspective, the cost of doing nothing is too high for governments and is too high for our society, not only for economics, but also for social reasons. The cost of domestic violence are far-reaching and affect the welfare of women and children over their entire lifetime. Without appropriate action, the total cost of violence against women and their children was estimated to reach $15.6 billion in 2021 and 2022, where the main contributor to discuss of pain, suffering, and premature mortality. So it's good that the government is doing this, but more needs to be done. And I wanted to, oh, sorry, I didn't move these things. To leave you on a higher note, I just want to acknowledge that the budget statement indicates progress towards achieving gender equality. It's an important exercise and it's good policy. Gender impact assessment is now required for any new submissions of the federal budget, and a continuous work towards analyzing not only the expected impacts, but the actual impacts of all these measures is required to continue informing policy and analyzing whether these measures are benefiting those intended. In addition to this Women's Budget Statement provides us an opportunity to reflect on what South Australia can do. The South Australian government has gender equality commitments, and the Women's Budget Statement as kind of the hallmark of the gender responsive budgeting practices in Australia, with his focus on how government prioritizes resources, is a strategy that is essential for the state to meet these goals. So thank you, and now I'm going to leave you with